Hello and welcome to Williams TV from sunny Melbourne. We are here in Australia for the first race of the season, so we thought we'd take the opportunity to give you a very quick look at our new look. We're now ROKiT Williams Racing. You can see we have our little hospitality unit in the background with George and Robert taking centre stage there, and everyone enjoying the sunshine a little bit. We're going to wander over to the garage. We will this year sort of show you a little bit more what's going on and how it all looks. We've obviously got new colours, new car, new drivers. But for today we thought we'd start by just talking a little bit about how we got here in terms of logistics. This is obviously the furthest that we come. We've just come off the back of 2 weeks of winter testing. So been in Barcelona, and everything now is all ready to go pretty much for the weekend ahead. So if you want to follow me inside. And we're going to have a quick word with Pete Simmons, who's Chief Garage Technician. Sorry, can I just hand that to you?
Yeah, no problem.
Just to talk a little bit about how we got here. So first of all, can you just give people a little bit of an insight into what got here when and the different sort of stages in terms of arrival for that?
So basically the main air freight, which is 27 tonne of normal air freight, arrived here on Sunday evening. The sea freight, which left the factory in January, early January, with all the garage equipment, pods, banners, etc. And then we have a early support crew that come out. So they arrived here on Saturday.
Yeah.
So they come in Saturday, Sunday, Monday, then we come in the afternoon.
And then we're good to go. So basically, I think what people probably won't appreciate is that it's almost sort of a two-stage process. So everything that you see in Barcelona testing didn't get packed up and all sent out here. The main sort of bulk of the original setup came out in January, so that stuff was here ready to go and set up for the race. And then the things like the car and equipment in the garage would then be air freighted out.
Yes, that's right.
As the sort of last bits to drop in. And in terms of then where we go from here, we obviously go on to Bahrain. The banner boarding, the sort of garage setup that we see here, where does that head next?
So yeah, all the garage equipment goes from here, all the sea freight, which is 3 containers, sea freight containers worth, goes to Montreal.
Yeah.
So that will get packed up Sunday evening. The bulk of the air freight goes on to Bahrain. And then if we've got any late freight, boxes or any parts that need to be turned around at the factory, we'll go home before going back out to Bahrain.
So it's a bit of a logistical nightmare, really.
Yes, it is, yeah. Yeah.
And how many people, in terms of those stages, so, the people back at the factory, people here, whose responsibility is that to
So
kind
we've
of keep
got
track of?
the support team back at the factory, which is led by Colin. They do all the turnarounds of the sea freight, etc. So that all gets sent out prior to that. Brian and myself sort out the air freight, which is on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you've got DHL involved, obviously FOM, all those. So
Yeah.
So
there's lots of pieces of the puzzle to get together to put on the show that everybody sees when we kind of rock up at every race, I guess.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Making it look slick, like
Yeah.
there's, no one's had to think about it at all, but actually
There's a lot
quite
that
a bit
goes
of
on behind the
detail.
scenes,
Yeah,
that
definitely.
people don't see on the TV. Yeah.
And in terms of this race in particular, Australia, what any particular challenges in terms of the setup and how we operate around here?
Because it's so small and it's in the park, we have a lot of logistical challenges, i.e. freight storage. Our air freight, when it gets unloaded, the air freight containers get put on trucks and get taken to Avalon Airport until Sunday evening. We keep 3 priority containers back here. Initially they'll come in after the race, so we can get on with that. We're only allowed 2 forklifts in the park because of health and safety reasons and how small it is.
How many would we normally have?
Normally we have 4 forklifts.
Okay.
So that's
Slows you down a little bit.
slows us down a little bit. But because we've changed the way we've done the freight this year, as in we've got new containers, our process of packing up should be quicker.
Yeah.
I mean, last year we were one of the quickest in packing up anyway.
So what was the record last year?
About 4.5 hours after the race had finished.
Everything
on
packed
a
down.
flight, packed down in the buses back to the hotel.
So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was quick. And this year will definitely be quicker.
So we'll be able to beat that.
Yeah.
In terms of, obviously, I mean, you can see some of the sort of stands here. We don't have, obviously, the freight boxes in here, but the way that kind of everything's set up is quite modular to try and speed that process up and also make it easier, I guess, for finding stuff in the garage.
Yeah. So most departments have one of these cabinets which you work out of. So we have these that go air freight, obviously. These, what you see behind you, these clean rooms that belong to HPP, these go sea freight. So these are built before we get here.
Yeah.
And then these will go on to Montreal.
Yeah.
But the bulk of what you see, the fuel bowsers, the spares cabinets, sub-assembly spares cabinets, all go into the containers and go on to Bahrain.
Perfect. Well, we will let you get back to it.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much for that.
Okay,
you
no
can
problem.
get back to work.
Right.
We would like to show you a bit more of the garage, but I don't know if we can kind of get round without showing too much detail. I think we walk down the front and we'll just go out and see what everybody's up to. Obviously, this is kind of the proper backstage area, so you know, we'll try and keep in tight so that we don't get in trouble for showing anything that we're not meant to. New lockers for the boys this year, so they can keep their bags neat and tidy. And if you come down here as well, you'll also see they've got all their pit crew helmets because they're going to be doing pit stop practice soon. And as normal, they've got the music blaring out loud, so you probably can't actually hear a lot of what's being said. But if we just jump out the front, you can have a quick look around the garage and see our new ROKiT Williams Racing livery. We'll try not to get in the way of anybody else's pit stop, but if you just want to spin round and just have a quick look when we're not getting in the way of people being really unhelpful. We have a bit of a new look and feel this year, so everyone's feeling really refreshed, and we're all looking forward to the first race of the season. So thanks for joining us.